We go into the three main components. We want to sort of cover some golf swing basics, if you will. You want to have a couple of tenets to always remember. One is balance, okay? Balance is so often ignored and forgotten in the golf swing. Balance is a precursor to, how we want everything to be. Balance at setup, balance during the backswing, balance during the finish, okay? The more balance you have, the more consistency you're going to have. The more we're sort of moving around, toppling over, swaying the head, whatever it might be, the more inconsistent your shots are going to be. So let's just sort of understand that as a precursor, okay? The next sort of precursor is you've got to be specific with every shot. Being specific with every shot is a tenet you have to have. Even if you're crap, you need to tell your brain where you want the shot to go. You have to try and see it and feel it. Some of you might not be visual, but I still want you to try and be precise, to choose your intermediate point, to take dead aim, okay? That is so important, whether it's a putt, chip, bunker shot, iron, drive. Be precise. I promise you that's going to help a great deal. Obviously, we also want to have a nice firm grip, okay? We want to feel the weight of the club and a nice firm grip. These are the principles you need to have. Now, on to the first main tip. So the first one is about weight distribution and staying centered. What does that mean? What does that look like? We want to try and avoid as much sort of lateral movement as possible. And one of the best visualizations I can hopefully provide you is to imagine a flagpole from the top of your head all the way down your spine, through the bottom of your spine into the ground. And from here, we are going to feel like we are kind of winding up around there and swinging through around there. There is going to be some movement from it. We're not completely just rotating and rotating around it, but we still want to try and stay centered, because that's going to help us with our low point. Like if you move off the ball, which isn't a bad thing, but we have to sort of move back, and that's kind of getting a bit advanced. But if we can stay centered, if we can feel like our spine, our sternum is staying central, and we can wind up around that point, it is so much more likely that we can deliver the club back to where we started and actually dictate the low point to be just past the ball with irons. And the same with the setup, with the driver, we can actually hit it sort of on the upswing where we want it to be. So staying centered is key. Now with the address, sometimes you might have a bit, I just want you to basically notice where your weight distribution is. Are you on the back foot? Are you on the front foot too much? We want it about 60-40%. Now, remember the central, that center point, we don't want the head sort of being over where we're, oh, my weight's forward, that's great, but look at where my head is, okay? We want to keep it pretty central, but my weight is forward in this manner. And then from there, whatever swing I make, I'm going to wind up, staying central, and I'm going to swing through, staying central. Now the head is going to move a little bit. It's going to fall back a little bit, whatever. But just try and remember that. Get the setup distribution right. Feel balanced in your feet. We don't want too much weight on the toes, and we certainly don't want too much weight on the heels, because again, that's going to create some inconsistency where we lift up out of the shot, or if we're too much on the toes, we're going to pick the club up. So we want to have real good balance, okay, where the knees are over the start of the toes, really, over the balls of the feet. So I've got my balance here. That's my central point, and then I'm going to swing around that, easy flowing golf swing. That's it. So get those little checkpoints right and keep that visualization with the pole all the way through you. Let's go on to the next one. Below, you can follow a link that is going to take you on your own golf journey. You can choose what you want to work on, whether it's driving, iron play, effortless swinging, putting, short game. You choose your journey. It's free, and I promise you, the lessons inside are going to help transform your game more than ever and help you stay focused and stop pinballing around. Check out the link below. Number 2 is to get you away from thinking you have to make a big long swing or a big rotation to be any good at golf. You can have a very short, efficient, effective golf swing. And it's exactly why we produced a program designed to, in essence, improve that concept, to maximize your short swing. Whether it's because of age limitations, body limitations, or you might just find that you're so much more consistent when you have a shorter swing. Because the more we can hit the center of the face and get that reliable contact, you are not only going to hit the ball further, you are going to be more consistent. But if we're wailing around trying to hit the ball as hard as possible, or everything being a bit too movement based or trying to swing too long, more things can go wrong. Like if you're all the way up here, that's a long way to try and get back, to time that perfectly to hit that ball accurately. But if we're just here, okay, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to hit the ball shorter, doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to hit it as well, but it's much easier for me to feel like I'm going to be able to deliver that club with confidence and consistency from here. So to give you a brief kind of feel, one of the best tips I can give you is to have a short swing, okay? But what we're going to feel is we're not trying to rotate. We are actually just trying to wind up, all right? A little bit like a kind of staircase, and Pete Cowan talks about this, but we are winding up in this manner. And that feeling of sort of winding up, almost a bow and arrow here, where we're pulling the right side up. Okay, so I've got my hand here, and I'm pulling the right side up. What that's going to do is have the hip pivot and everything sort of help the club glide, but I don't have to make a long swing. I don't have to think about rotation. I'm just thinking about the rib cage moving this way just a few inches, just to here, right? And that's my short, effective swing. It really is as simple as that. And from there, I can use the ground, I can gather the ground and accelerate through with a lot less sort of things potentially going wrong. And it can look something like this, okay? So let's try and get my aim right. I'm a bit off here. But I'm just going to wind up just a few inches, get into that sort of flow and position, and I wind up and I swing through, all right? A wonderful strike. I didn't quite aim correctly, but it was a wonderful strike with a short swing. Repeatable, effective, much less effort. But we're going to maximize it by doing the third thing. Number 3 is all about flow and having momentum assist you. If you're too tight, if you're trying to snatch the club away and you don't understand that the swing is exactly that, it's a swing, it's not a hit. We have to have a sensation that the club feels heavy. We want the swing to start with momentum. Swinging with momentum and adding flow means a couple of things. We're going to have a firm grip, but we're going to have very soft, supple hands. And as we're making our little swings here, I'm not rushing anything, okay? I'm allowing the club to almost swing itself, okay? The club head is dictating the pace and the movement of my swing. I'm responding to it rather than me trying to manipulate it into positions. Because this, if I just did that, okay, that is very consistent and reliable. If I'm trying to sort of do this, it's not as reliable. So we have to blend a bit of structure with that flow. And how can we sort of get that sensation? Well, a sort of drill you can do is the feet together drill, okay, where we're just allowing the club to swing itself with nice sort of balance here, okay? We're not trying to do anything fantastic. We've got the same feelings. We've got weight a little bit forward, all right? Weight forward, and now we are hinging back. But a short swing, we're going to wind and just allow the club to swing through. It's a reliable contact. But to develop that into a full swing, if you will, I want you to just practice a little bit of weight shift where you're not moving, where you are moving rather, okay? Because too often we get a bit static and we get stuck. I want you to feel that the swing is always in motion. So even as you set up to the ball, I want you to always be moving, to kind of be waggling, to feel the weight of this club, to feel the ground in your feet here, to be able to feel that, to be able to move the club with momentum from placing the weight on the forward foot and on the back foot, and we swing with momentum and flow. Okay, that's it. Got the same structure that we talked about before, but I'm not trying to force anything into positions. I'm not trying to rush everything. This is going to give me the foundation for flow. And if you want, you can actually even allow the club to sort of loll behind a little bit here, where the grip is sort of leading the club head instead of snatching it away that way. So we're here with a short swing and through. And that's it. There are 3 very important but very simple concepts to help you with your consistency. Put them into action, and if you have any questions, let me know below. See you next time.